What's up? We're in the next part. Please go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. Actually, I don't want to do a recap, but I will just briefly, okay? In the previous part, I was speaking about just a pursuit on my person by somebody from my past, an ex-boyfriend of mine, and I spoke about how it is that he's a completely transformed person as a result of involvement in the occult, and he's got like a severity of naivety now. I then spoke about how it is that he was involved in sorcery in the center of our relationship, but like his character was largely maintained. The person that he was largely maintained because the witchcraft he was doing was amateur. I then went on to explain that somewhere along the way he entered into a very deep sorcery, and this deep sorcery that he entered into was those kinds that you find with echelons, ranking, secret societies, in other words, that invite very lofty people in them, and that with these secret societies they use far more haughty spirits. I then entered into a whole expansion on what is likely going on there to help account for the just extreme diametric personality changes that happen in certain people when they do certain spells, and why it is that people can practice witchcraft for years and still largely maintain their core personality, while others change so much, while others get taken by a tsunami so much. I spoke about how it is that my ex has been taken by a tsunami altogether, and I'm trying to help you out understand what happened over there. This stuff with clout chasing, all of this money chasing, money hunger that is getting you guys recruited into cults. I want you to understand what in the world is likely coming into your bodies. Okay, cool. I then went on to explain that it is highly unlikely that fallen angels are the ones that come into your body when you get demon possessed. I read from Ephesians 6, the full armor of God. However, the portion that speaks about rulers, authorities, cosmic powers, and spiritual wickedness in high places, and I spoke about how it is that I do believe that those are wronged, that the rulers are the loftiest ones, and going down all the way ending with the spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, and then I explained, I entered into a discussion about angels, fallen angels, and how it is that they are highly unlikely demons as we understand them. I was yet to expand on Ephesians 6, and that's what I'm going to be doing now in this part, okay? I explained to you guys that I subscribe to a doctrine that fallen angels are, what do you call this, are highly unlikely coming into the bodies of human beings because of the fact that they are loftier than us. We are made a little lower than the angels. They don't need oxygen and all these things that human beings are restricted to. They also don't die. They're eternal. And so for those reasons, if at all they could be more successful in their functionality in their bodies, why would they want to come into ours? I spoke about how it is that fallen angels have bodies because risen angels or holy angels have bodies. So they fell out of heaven with bodies, but now they've been made corruptible. The reverse engineered version of incorruptible bodies happened with them, and that they likely are still doing whatever it is that they're doing, roaming to and from the earth and up and about it, like Satan said to God when asked in the book of Job where he's at. He said he was up and down the earth. He's doing that in his body. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I said that whoever it is that is inside bodies of people, these legions that are inside bodies of human beings, they're not what do you call this, fallen angels, right? For the reasons I have highlighted in my first part, you're gonna have to go and check it out to gain the context. I then spoke about how it is that the one second. Yeah, I spoke about how it is that it's highly unlikely that these fallen angels are the ones coming into your bodies, because they would be just severely restricted by the human body, but I expanded on that in my first part, so I'm not going to labor on it right now. I then went on right ahead to explain that likely what is going on with you when you get demon possessed is that you've got demons in your body. Is that you've got that demons are the demon possession that you are experiencing. Yeah, that is likely the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, that once they passed away, these Nephilim, since everything lingers, the spirit carried on type thing, but then they did not go to Hades the way that human beings go to Hades. We go to Hades immediately. It is appointed unto man to die once, and thereafter is the judgment. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people die and they go immediately to Hades, or they go immediately to heaven, depending on what in the world is going on with their spiritual state. But fallen angels don't immediately go to hell unless they have been bound in Hades for an indiscretion they walked in, leaving their first estate type establishment thing, but they will be set free in the book of Revelation. They are, like Satan, able to roam to and from the earth. So since Nephilim, these fallen angel hybrids mixed with human beings, since they were part angel and part human, the Lord kept their condition there. He kept the status of fallen angels in their allowability to roam the earth. So they are able to roam the earth. They are not in Hades unless they make a decision to take a trip there because it's just what they want to do. They're being leisurely, but they have freedom to roam the earth to and from, going up and about it the very same way that fallen angels do, right? They can go to and from, up and down the earth, etc. This issue with the internet, that it happened again earlier today, and it needs to be corrected. Anyway, it'll probably come back on its own. Yeah, fallen angels are like that. Okay, I've been explaining that for a minute now, like I need to move on. The demons, however, are disembodied spirits of Nephilim, mixed hybrid, able to roam the earth, and that it is likely that when you are seeing ghosts or aberrations, weird strange stuff, poltergeist activity, those are demons. Those are demons. Those are demons. Those are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. I spoke about how it is that God is using them, even in this modern, even in like Bible times, for his own purposes. He put one in Saul. He gave him an evil spirit that tormented him unless David played the harp, etc. Okay, these Nephilim, now I'm getting to the point. These Nephilim, the last part that I last ended at. These demons, which are basically the the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, these demons, they therefore are far more comfortable inside human bodies than fallen angels ever could be. There is no incentive for a fallen angel to come inside a human body. It just doesn't make sense because they've got so much more power in their own bodies. Do you understand? There's so much etc. And we have evidence even with human accounts of fallen angels showing themselves to humanity. We see in Egyptian hieroglyphics, I spoke about that, the angels described in the scriptures, how it is that they look so similar to Egyptian hieroglyphics. You can see that they've got bodies. They've got bodies. So why, if at all, they can show themselves with that menacing outward appearance to human beings? Why would they want to take on the form of a human being? These fallen angels have shown themselves to people until they manufactured gods out of them. I believe even the Shiva is a fallen angel that was cited by certain cultures in the world until they made it a god. Krishna, the Hindu, many of the Hindu gods, their many arms, their strange eyes all over the body. I feel as if though they are fallen angels that were cited by human beings, and then they made gods out of them. They've got bodies, they've got power in those bodies, and they've got all these supernatural abilities. Why would they want to restrict themselves to this tight somnganga that is a human body? But Nephilim lived in human image on the earth, just girthier, just taller, just thicker. And I spoke about how it is that if at all we can eat in heaven, because we go through a banquet, a wedding supper, so too, then can people in hell eat, but they don't get to. So there is hunger, there is thirst inside eternal spirits. There are needs in them that are unsatiated. So therefore, when demons enter into the bodies of human beings, they satiate that which was the hunger that they could no longer continue to satiate now that they were disembodied from their bodies. So they hog your body. They come inside human bodies and they eat through us. They sleep through us. They essentially experience what it is that was their lives in us. But of course, within that temporary state, they could always be cast out. They are not entirely comfortable. They tend to also squeeze themselves in one body sometimes, all of them. They are nefarious. They are unhappy. They know that they're ultimately going to be thrown in the lake of fire to endure a second death. So they cause a lot of havoc. And because they are of the kingdom of darkness, all they can do, like their father, the devil, is steal, kill, and destroy. So they just chart the course of your life to destruction. They just mess you up, like altogether. But I'm getting to a point now. I'm finally getting to fashion this argument to a place where I want to get at, to help you understand what happened with my ex. And I'm really trying to get you to be discouraged from starting with the occult at all, but especially joining cults, especially joining secret societies. These loftier ones, they deal with higher order entities, higher order. Now, when it comes to Ephesians 6, what are we dealing with? So since I've already explained that demons are likely disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, since I also already highlighted that fallen angels have got bodies. In Ephesians 6, where do they fit in? Where do demons and where do fallen angels fit in? We look at the kingdom of heaven for that. That's the only mock-up that we have. That's the only prototype that we can use, right? We look at not only the kingdom of heaven, but we also look at, what do you call this? Accounts of entities that we know of in the Bible that explains to a certain extent what in the world is going on here, right? Now, The kingdom of heaven is a kingdom. It has a government. And so there are layers. Fallen angels likely are either continental, national, state bordered or regional. So national, continental, or regional. That's what fallen angels do. They hover over entire continents. They hover over entire nations. They hover over states or provinces. They hover over, what do you call this? If not like cities. It's ranks. We know that that's a thing because according to God, like if you look at the book of Daniel, where it is in his 21-day fast, the answered prayer that he was looking for, the prince of Persia was not an earthly prince like Arabian Night, like Aladdin. The prince of Persia was an entity. It was a fallen angel, and it was a prince of Persia. Persia is modern day Iran. So we know that it was a prince over a country, and that prince over that entire country was standing in the way of Daniel's answered prayer, and he had to fast for a whole 21 days before he could be loosed, because a similar order angel, if not loftier, that is holy, had to come and root it out the way, remove the prince of Persia out the way to give Daniel his answered prayer. So we know then that there are, out of the legions that fell out of heaven, the third of heaven's legions that fell, we know from that there are fallen angels that were so mighty that they were in rank in heaven, mightier than some angels in heaven, such that they don't have power from heaven. The ones in heaven, they did not have power to uproot that layer of prince, that layer of arch. You know, like the archangel Michael is called, I believe in the book of Daniel, a prince. The archangel Michael in the book of Daniel is called a prince. So it says that he is of that layer, of that principality layer. He is loftier than many other angels. Underneath him, that terminology prince in and of itself is not sinful. It speaks of a rank. Do you understand? So the prince of Persia was a fallen angel at the level of Michael, and something of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he was so lofty, he was so strong that lower order angels that were sent on behalf of Daniel to give him an answered prayer could not get past him. So they had to go and get Michael to move that prince out the way, because of course when you belong to heaven, you will always have greater power than a fallen angel of the same rank. You will have greater power than him. That's why the archangel Michael is the one that is arguing or having a discussion with Satan over the body of Moses. That's why it's no one but the archangel Michael. They were on the same level. And however, the power that Michael called on was not his own. He did not imagine himself more powerful than Satan, because they are both princes. The devil is called the prince of the power of the air. So Satan's leadership of the kingdom of darkness is not even so much a rank leadership than as it is, a body leadership, like a physical leadership, where it is that he has got physically more power than all the other fallen angels. He just so happens to be the one that's been vested authority by God to be the head of the kingdom of darkness, since he's the one that led the coup in heaven, the attempted coup in heaven. God gave him therefore power over all the other fallen angels. So he is their boss, even though I do believe there are fallen angels that are on the same level as Satan in terms of their abilities, because it is clear in the book of Jude that Satan and the archangel Michael were made on the same level. And so when then Satan is arguing with Michael over the body of Moses, instead of Michael calling on his, basically just being like, hey, move out the way because I'm better or I'm bigger. No, he said, the Lord rebuke you, because the authority is vested in Michael by God to conquer Satan. Michael is able to overwhelm the devil precisely because of his maintenance as a holy angel. That is his power. He has the power because Christ has given it to him. It is not because he has got actual more muscle than Satan. But when it comes to ranking authority, God vests different layers of it on holy angels and the fallen ones. So the angels that are underneath Michael, as God has given Michael authority over this legion of holy angels, that rank that has been given to Michael, that lesson, that lowliness of those angels likely applies still in the kingdom of darkness, where it is that an angel, a fallen angel at the rank, at the height of Michael, but for the kingdom of darkness, can basically overwhelm heaven's legions that are at the rank that is lower than Michael's, because of this like structure of government. We know that that's true just from the book of Daniel alone. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So therefore, those lower order holy angels had to get help from the prince in heaven that was awarded that kind of authority to move out the way the prince of Persia. So princes are regional, or if not regional, what is this, national or even continental. So I do believe that on a regional level, like basically over geographical locations, that's when we're dealing with angels. That's when we're dealing with fallen angels, because remember, they've got all of these powers. They can go to and from the earth, up and about it. These fallen angels can, what do you call this? They are not subject to gravity, time and space. They don't need aeroplanes in order for them to go anywhere. You get my point. That's what it is under heaven that fallen angels can do. So with the power that they have to essentially go to and fro, up and about South Africa, to and from up and about Johannesburg, to and from up and about Hlongwane in Johannesburg, to and from up and about, you get my point, yeah. They then are the ones that are essentially bosses, heads over certain geographical locations. But fallen angels and even holy angels, basically nobody is omniscient and omnipresent but God. They're not everywhere. So that's where they need minions. They need minions. Even the Prince of Persia did not have eyes on everything going on in Iran, ancient Iran. Even because he is not omniscient, and also omnipresent, but he had lackeys, lower order entities that were doing his rounds, essentially giving him feedback as to this is what's good, this is what's not, this is what's happening, this is what's left, right, up, down, and the other. This is what's crisscrossing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So these, just from Ephesians 6, what I believe is going on here is that rulers likely speaks of fallen angels, indeed, that are so lofty that they're chilling over entire continents, like over Africa or over sub-Saharan Africa, over such a big portion, geographical location, that they're like a CEO in a company. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then the chief technical officers, you get my point, then become, the executives essentially then would become like the authorities, all right? And then there would be cosmic powers over this present darkness. So entities that are cosmic, they just roam around in their spirit forms, disembodied. I believe these cosmic powers over this present darkness. Okay, and it says here as well that it's over this present darkness. If you think about fallen angels, they come from a previous age, before creation of Earth and solar system, Milky Way, everything, galaxy. As fallen angels were in existence, they fell out of heaven long before the earth was created. Type establishment thing. Yeah. However, disembodied spirits of the Nephilim exist in only this present age, because they are the offspring, the progeny of fallen angels and human beings. They are present to this age. They are present to this age. They're present to the earth's existence. And hence they are called cosmic powers over this present darkness. And then there are the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. I do also believe that these are demons. So basically ranking of demons, and the only different reason why some would have more rank than others is just at the discretion of he who awards rank. He who awards rank, God, essentially. The devil, in his discretion to run his kingdom, can make a decision to award certain of these cosmic powers of the present age, what do you call this? More responsibility than others. It's like all the minions in a company. You get the call center agent in the organization versus a project manager. They both are under headship of a company. They both are under the operations technical officer. The operations executive, sorry. They fall under the operations executive of the company, both the project manager and the call center agent. But the project manager is far more senior than the call center agent. However, they are both minions under the chief operations officer. So it's like these people, the CEO are the rulers, the authorities are the executives. And then the present cosmic whatever are more senior minions than the lesser minions. And the lesser minions are the ones finally getting to the point. The lesser minions, the spiritual wickedness in high places, these demons, these fallen angels, these fallen, these disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. These are the ones that you're probably dealing with when you consult Bab Zungu from Besta Pimville, from DK, the one that helps you do Korobel, the one that helps you hook up a little bit of a spell on your colleague because you are jealous, the one that brings back lost lover. The one that, these amateurish spells where you have to consult some sangoma who's even struggling to pay their mortgage loan. I spoke about that the other day. There you're probably dealing with spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. You're dealing with minions. You're dealing with call center agent type demons. They lowly in a company, but they're doing a job of a much bigger thing. The ones that I believe attach to secret societies. The ones that give more power. The ones that upon coming into your bodies wreak a lot more havoc, I do believe are the ones that are the cosmic powers over this present darkness. They're all demons. Demons are the only beings that can dwell inside a human being. But the rank varies of them. Like I said, call center agent versus project manager, call center agent versus senior manager, call center agent versus general manager. They're all under the chief financial officer or the chief technical officer or the chief operations officer who is under the CEO. They are all minions but with rank. They're all minions but with rank. They all work for the same company but with rank. And the CEO and the executives are fallen angels. Whereas the senior managers, the general managers, the project managers, the call center agents, the administrators, the project, you get my point. They are demons. There's a lot more of them, I do believe, as well. And then there are fallen angels, they're demons. And they're the ones that are allotted to like regions, like essentially they are the ones that wreak havoc in family lines, make sure that they maintain somebody grain with generational curses. They are the ones that make sure that a country has a particular problem, like in Haiti now, like the problem there with a failed state and people just struggling with voodoo, just a certain kind of adoration of sorcery. In Africa there's a lot of love of witchcraft, ancestral worship, family members stabbing each other in the back, all that jazz. These are the senior managers, I'm gonna get to that actually. These are the call center agents and the project administrators. These are the paper pushers, the ones working in the mailing room. These are the delivery boys. These are the security guards and the receptionists, do you understand, of a company. But the ones as you go higher and higher in rank, you are still getting demons in your body. It is not a fallen angel, it can't be, but it's high ranks of these demons, and they are vested in them greater power by he who vests power. First God and then devil. The Lord is the one that gives Satan authority over the kingdom of darkness and makes him the god of this world. Satan then is the one that allots matla, power, rank, position, status to do ABC through these minions on the ground. He gives instructions to the principalities, the authorities, essentially the either geographical or the continental or the regional or the national entities. Countries have grains, guys. They've got trends. You know that. They have got trends. There are things that they do, sins that they are walking in that are very unique to those countries. They are unique. And in Africa, like I said, we have a problem with ancestral worship. We have a problem with backstabbing in families. We have a problem, etc. I could go on. America, there's a problem with the colorful community, alphabet agenda. They are mixing pronouns and whatnot. They are confusing children. They are doing seances on stage. It's a culture of immorality, and it's unique to that Babylonian country. If you go to many of the countries of South America, they've got a problem with drug lording. They've got a problem with drug trafficking, drug and human trafficking. Many of the South American countries, and Santeria, certain kinds of sorcery that dwell in certain regions of the world. Haiti, I made mention of them and their voodoo. When you go to certain other Caribbean islands, they love these African spiritualities as well. The people have got their issues across geographical locations, and sometimes it's so bad, this thing, that the trend, the grain, that you pick it up when you go to a certain city right in the same country. There is a completely different climate when you drive from Johannesburg to Pretoria. There is a completely different climate when you drive from Johannesburg to Northwest. There is a completely different climate when you leave Johannesburg and Gauteng altogether and then go to KZN. There is a difference there is a difference in the people and the way that they act, and their sins tend to be similar. Like recently there was a tornado. I was shocked out of my mind. Like, who in the world has ever seen a tornado in South Africa? But there was a tornado called KwaZulu-Natal, and they've been having flash floods. And I don't know how many times I have told you guys that the secret society that has got these evil men in it that are trying to run the country into destruction, its root was in KwaZulu-Natal. And that's why they are the first of all of the provinces in South Africa to have a tornado. When have you ever heard of a tornado in South Africa? That stuff we see in America with their wooden houses flying around all over the show, wondering if your country's got so much wind, why in the heaven don't you build more brick and mortar houses? What's with the wood? What's with the wood? You come to South Africa, like most of the houses in South Africa will survive much of the disasters in America because of the fact that we make our houses with brick and mortar. If your country is so riddled with tornadoes, why under heaven do you keep on making them with wood, with no foundation? I literally, I can never understand that model of building houses of America, given that they sit on such a volatile natural disaster zone when it comes to winds and stuff, because it's been like that for a minute in the US. It's been like they've been Dorothy in Wizard of Oz for a minute, and yet they keep on making these wooden houses. But even that lack of logic again speaks to a principality. People that are just not making a sound decision concerning the welfare of the people on their countries. I mean, I don't know how many people get interviewed in American weather shows, meteorological shows, who are enduring a second hurricane in a decade, and they were covered once before in the same news network 10 years ago, and then they show a clip of them 10 years ago losing their house, and now they've lost it again. It's like, why didn't you build a brick and mortar house? What is it with Americans and wood? Like, we don't get it. You've got hurricanes, but here in this country, we don't have hurricanes, we don't have tsunamis, we don't have, like, they just strange weather, like whirlwinds, tornadoes. There was one KwaZulu, and I was like, yes, then it's over, it's clear. This is we're done for. When there's a tornado in South Africa, we are done for. And it ripped apart, of course, shacks, those who are living in mikuku, structures that are not brick and mortar like ours here in suburbia, where it is that our foundations go very deep in the ground. It's always the people who are poverty stricken that suffer the most under natural disasters. But with us, the ones who are living in shacks, right, type thing, it's they're basically victims of their circumstance. They can't afford brick and mortar. They can't afford more solid houses. So their shacks got flown away. Their poorly built homes were taken away. But that disaster, that tornado, did not rip apart brick and mortar in its wake in this country. The foundations remained firm because our houses are made of cement and brick. You get my point? Like, that's something that I guess, like I said, it should have just come to the mind of America long ago, but it's not happening. But it's okay. That's their principality. That's their what do you call this thing? Their lack. God is confounding their speech because of their wickedness. They're not happening upon the obviousness of these things, so as to infrastructurally improve their country. Even though they're the world superpower, they're just not getting around to this thing. Like, it really baffles me why Americans keep on building wooden houses. I don't get it. I do not get it. I literally don't get it. Anyway, whatever. Cool beans and bananas, right? Their wooden houses would have probably stood a lot more firm in South Africa, given that we don't have problems with tornadoes, but we just had a tornado, KwaZulu-Natal, about 3 days ago. That is because of God judging this world. We are at the end due to the prince of KZN, KwaZulu, and likely the sub-prince of Tegwini, Durban, because that's where this cult resides. It blomile ko Durban, and it has infected the rest of South Africa, and I've been saying this on a loop over and over and over again. Those are fallen angels. However, the demons are the ones that indwell people, but the lower, very lower order call center agent type demons are the ones that you will likely take with home with you inside your body, sitting comfortably like it's on a sofa type establishment thing after you slap your boyfriend with korobela. It will highly unlikely change your character too significantly. You might be irritable, edgy, antsy, making strange, ugly decisions, and also being inclined towards being maintained and constantly going back to the drawing board to do witchcraft. But if you stay with these little order entities, you will probably likely for the rest of your life be maintained largely with a similar personality. It is, however, those that graduate to the cosmic powers of this present age, of this present darkness, that become new people. They do a 180, they flip. They just do, guys, they flip. They become different. Like people that twala, people that carry snakes, fallen, these demons, fallen, what is this, the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. They what do you call this? They go inside human beings, right? People. That's what's good. I've got a pimple over here and it just sucks. Anyway, they go inside people, but they can also go inside animals. We know they went inside the pigs. They can also go inside objects, inanimate objects. Hence why you get hauntings, poltergeist activity, cups and saucers flying all over the house. Also, the haunted dolls, like Annabelle, the doll. We all know that that's like based on a true story. These entities do menacing stuff like that. They're the ones that poke and prod away at you when you're sleeping at night. They're the ones that give you diorisi, like nachmeri, the ones that chill on your chest, and the ones that scratch at your neck at the back, make you feel like there's a scorpion walking on it. The ones that, yeah, those are demons, lower order, very lower order, even though they wreak quite a lot of havoc. They wreak quite a lot of havoc. The ghosts in your house, demons as well. The ones that they manifest they basically manifest the image of your dead grandmother or your dead mother or your dead brother from another mother, or the person who died in that house in 1807, and then he just like shows in a corner type thing. They're the activity that people pick up in their little paraphernalia for checking out occult stuff, like these people who do medium shows where it is that they are going out of their way to look at entities, to find entities in these streets, and then they've got like all these electronic devices where it is that they're trying to look for a demon and whatnot. It's a demon. It's not a ghost. It is appointed unto man to die once, and thereafter is the judgment. It's a demon. It's a demon, and it is highly likely just very extremely, like painfully lower order, but it has got a lot of power to scare, to frighten. Like I said, they cause poltergeist activity. They haunt through dolls. They get put in trinkets, crystals, all these funny little things, these paraphernalia that people use all over the show for satanic arts, such that this crystal now has power. This crystal now has power to do ABC when you rub it this way. They are the ones that go and put what is this, and chill inside some tarot cards. They're the ones that give the reading in the tarot card. They're the ones that respond in the Ouija board seance, that the ritual that you are doing. When you're doing a Ouija board ritual, they're the ones that respond. They're the ones that respond when you are at a medium reading or whatever, or a psychic reading, and then they tell you what you ate for breakfast. They're the ones that respond. The familiar spirits, they're extremely lower order, and they wreak a lot of havoc on earth. They cause a great deal of confusion, and they're the ones that, if at all they indwell you, you are going to be slightly different, but not so much that people would be like Karabo chenshil type thing. However, the other ones are given authority by the devil to give people more power, that he might fulfill that word in God's word. You know how Jesus was offered the kingdoms of this world if you will worship Satan. There are people that are offered the kingdoms of this world if they will worship Satan. Now, if you think about going to a sangoma, right, and you are like, I want a job, and you expect to one day become a CEO overnight, and it just doesn't happen, it's very frustrating. You know how people in poverty-stricken communities love witchcraft so much, and yet they never get rich? Lower order. But the loftier ones are the ones that Satan uses to indeed effect actual wealth, to indeed effect actual transforming life circumstance type events, where it is that you go from rags to riches, where it is that you go from bathing in a skotolo to living in a mansion. And these people rarely ever just go and consult the best sangoma. They rarely ever just go to Babzungu or Deep Kloof, and next thing they are driving like 7 cars. Next thing they are living in Sandton, next to the mansion, the Yamandela ko Houghton. Next thing, you are not going to go to some low-key sangoma that you found the number of saying bring back lost lover on the side of the Sitco William Nicol, and then decide to add in an additional witchcraft spell to give you more of a salary boost. You are highly unlikely through that sangoma whose number you picked up from breed taxi rank. You are highly unlikely going to end up Beyonce on that dude. You are highly unlikely going to end up Jay-Z on that dude, Kanye West on that dude. You are not going to become some big lofty tycoon on that guy. And those are the entities that deceive poor people to hell. That's why witchcraft is so rampant in Minkuku, poverty-stricken communities. They use these lower order entities that can only ever do so much for them. Only so much. They can only give you an extra 200 rand in the salon when you do hair, or maybe steal a chair from another woman, making sure that she doesn't get any customers, but you get 20 a day. But you will never become a millionaire. You will never get a home loan. You are not going to buy a house on that sangoma in the local community. Go deep slow it. You are not going to get there. These are placed in strategic environments to convince people to get involved in deeper satanic magic that will highly unlikely redeem them. They get involved in such darkness, and the entities that come in them make it so hard for them to get out of this darkness, for them to get involved with Jesus, for them to repent, that most of these people go to hell. It's far easier for the deep slewed witchcraft, like random, that stole a chair in the salon of their best friend, to give their lives to Christ because they went to church one Sunday. But it is so rough for people involved in hard knock occult secret societies, like those who belong to cults, for them to just go to church one day and give their lives to Christ. It's so much harder. They might have conviction of sin. They might really deeply want to get out. They might be uncomfortable. They might see that there's something wrong with this picture and they will die, imagining that they can't get out of this. They're made to sign oaths. A lot of them have got to do blood rituals. They have to sacrifice family members. They have to give away children, like all different kinds of things, such that the prospect of repenting and them being also exposed for the human sacrifice rituals they did, coupled with the fact that the demons in them make them so recalcitrant, so rebellious to the gospel because they are so lofty. They're given so much more power to afflict, to resist the gospel. They are made materially powerful on the earth, and their personalities are changed. Look at Beyonce. Remember when she first came on the scene? Bills, Destiny's Child. The innocence of those videos. What is this song? Nasty put some clothes on. I told you I don't walk out the house without your clothes on. And now she's out here telling church girls to drop it like a 30. That level of transformation that changes a person altogether. Darkening music videos, creating a 180 of a human being. Rihanna is another one. Creating a completely, like the changes that you see in Hollywood. Yesterday she's a darling. Today she's Doja Cat, the little demon, photo op on Instagram, shocking everybody. That kind of overnight transformation that makes a person so different from who they were. They're not going to get that from a local sangoma. They have to be involved in a secret society, a cult. And these cults give people multiple entities in them of higher order. They're not fallen angels, they're still demons, but they are like the tantamount of general managers and senior managers instead of call center agents. They change personalities. They make a person arrogant, like what happened with my ex-boyfriend. They make a person unprepared to listen to any reason because they think they've arrived, and they give them so many quick wins, like a fast, or what do you call this? During the time when they are enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin, when they're busy growing, when they are getting all these hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, when they are suddenly getting, what do you call this? Endorsement deals, when they're suddenly becoming millionaires, billionaires, they're gaining fame and what have you. Goodness gracious, that's where they're having fun. And so they don't listen to anybody. Even when they have like a complete transformation of personality, they won't listen to anybody. It's when they are deep involved in it that they now start to get apprehension. They're uncomfortable, coupled with the fact that some of them have to do human sacrifice rituals, and this stuff then eats at them alive, and they feel like they're so far gone, and the oaths that they have signed, the prospect of coming out, and so therefore being exposed for what they did. A lot of times when they get into these secret societies, they have got to do something so heinous that if they attempt to break away, this heinous deed is going to be revealed. All of a sudden, there are cases that rise up against them. Next thing, they go in a court type setup thing. Next thing, they are being arrested at their houses. Next thing, their property is being seized. Next thing this, next thing that. Next thing, their reputation is being reviled before everybody because they want to leave the organization. Because they want to leave. They get humiliated, embarrassed. They gotta belong to secret societies. They trap them with all different kinds of weird stuff in the beginning, and then they give them an exorbitance of wealth. It is possible to get out of that, but it's hella hard. Hence, it's written in God's word. It is easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. These people are with options. They can get saved, but in getting saved, they are facing reputational damage so exorbitant that likely the whole country is going to find out what they did. They are also facing loss of such acquisitions as these. Going back to living at mama's house when you were once the celebrity of the country. Basically, pride is what keeps a lot of them involved in the darkness, so they can keep their reputation and their lifestyles. They go to hell, but it's written in God's word. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? My ex-boyfriend is involved in one of these. There's no way that bugger would have started making that kind of money and being able to live that kind of lifestyle from Justice Sangoma next door. He had been using sangomas from next door on me with Begamina Pella, don't go anywhere. Just basically just manipulating me with low order amateur spirits, and it never changed his character to a point where I would leave him. But it was towards the end of the relationship where his personality did a 180, where he rocked up with an alter ego like Beyonce. Yeah, that's what's good. And I was like, I can't. Who is this? Who in the world is this? Those are the ones that completely transform you. So you can tell when a person is involved in a cult, a secret society, versus a person that's just dabbling with Satananyana next door. Wako besta. They will all have a little bit of attitude, do you understand? But the one person will, with their transforming personality that is doing a 180, also suddenly start acquiring wealth. These are the ones that the devil says, worship me and I will give you the kingdoms of this world. He chooses them. He handpicks them. He selects them very particularly. And just as he chose Christ and he was like, worship me and I will give you the kingdoms of this world. There has to be something about them that is worthy of choosing. They don't just merely end up in these organizations just because they wanna. They tend to have, they tend to be very creative. They tend to also be very lovable, jocos. They are basically the darlings of the world that everybody loves. They are also very gifted. They have got a lot going for themselves. Otherwise, what am I going to do with you? What are you going to offer my kingdom? At the end of the day, I have to be believable. If I'm going to create a thriving entertainment industry, people have actually got to know how to sing. They've actually got to know how to rap. So it's people with real talent. However, they squander it for the devil. They use their gifts and their talents for the kingdom of darkness. Look at Doja Cat. That woman, there's nothing she can't do. She's like a jack of all trades, master of all. That kind of talent, rapping, singing, dancing, comedic, like she has it going, all of it. Well, of course, she's going to rock up the next day looking like a little devil on Instagram. That's what's good. These people get selected and they agree to worship the devil and he will give them the kingdoms of this world. And then once they agree, the devil puts in them what I believe are the cosmic powers over this present darkness in their bodies. And it's a lot of them at the same time because of seances, and they keep on getting more and more put in their bodies over the years. So they're made very recalcitrant and stubborn towards responding to the gospel. And they, like I said, they also tend to be tied to their induction into the occult, into these cults, something that is so exposing, so taxing, so humiliating that if at all they were to leave the secret society, this will come out. And also they tend to be threatened with like death, all different kinds of weird stuff. But like I said, guys, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? My ex-boyfriend is dying, unleashed to a demonic cult, and he doesn't want to lose much of what he has gained because it gave him clout. I've had a dream in the past of my ex going back to go and work at the call center, but that can only happen if he agrees to let it all go for his soul. Going right back to applying for a job in corporate because all his business opportunities ran dry because he made a decision to cut the occult. That is the only way out for this guy now. Only way out. I told him, I've been saying, if this dude does not make the rapture with me, he will go to hell. He is dying. And he has taken in his body the kinds of entities that flip you upside down. Now, the thing with that is, if my ex had not been so rapacious, if he had not been so greedy, if he had not allowed himself to go out like that, he would never have known what it's like to have all that money. He would have grown at the regular rate like the rest of us. He would have gone on right ahead to strive for another job interview, try at a business, try to open this, try to start that. And he would never have known the ill-gotten gain, the power of all of a sudden so nemali, and how much you just get so much clout and respect. He would never have known it, so he would never have missed it. He would have just been a struggling guy all his life, and maybe one day he might have ultimately broken out. He might have broken through, striving until you finally make it. Whoa. But he made a decision that he's going to expedite everything and joined a cult. He joined a coven, and it flipped him. And today, he is arrogant. He's someone I don't know. He's coercive. He's not the same dude that on our first kiss, he wouldn't even meander his hands anywhere else around my body. Now he is coercive. Now he is flaunting all of his wealth, everything that he has. And I'm like, dude, you are the dude that was different and rare. When we first kissed, you did not meander your hands to my buttocks and my breast and everywhere. And I was surprised pleasantly that you're so decent. And now today, and you are also breaking the heart of your wife. You are entitled because there are entities in you that have flipped you and made you so different that you don't know whether you're coming or going. This here is not a ruler or an authority. It's a demon. These are demons, but they are under rulers. They are under authorities. In South Africa, this is an epidemic. That's why there's so much gender-based violence. There is a ruler. There is a prince of Persia, Tanamount. There is a prince of South Africa that is out here making sure my ex is maintained in this rubbish. So the general climate of South Africa sucks. But this prince of South Africa is running. Do you understand what I'm saying? The minions, the cult in this country, the secret society in KZN that has wreaked havoc in this country. The one that earmarks talent in South Africa and is also currently earmarking me. On some just join the cult, the coven, batong. It's about too much, I know too much. I'm too alert, I'm studious in Christ. Looking everywhere all over this South Africa of ours, trying to find people to join their satanic organizations. And when then a Christian woman is exposing them, how many death spells will you do survivor before you will realize there is power in the name of Jesus? There is power in the name of Christ. These are just Nephilim, guys. They're not fallen angels. They don't want your body. It sucks. They are chilling over the country, the region, Johannesburg, maybe even just your Santon. And however, they are running entities inside you that they invested in your body. On the day you decided to sign an oath with the devil, do some strange ritual, sacrifice a family member, have some secrets of yours hidden in some kind of a, what do you call this thing? A filing system in this occult, so that should you make a decision to be a Dumbo, or at least what they call a Dumbo in the kingdom of heaven is called wise. It's called the pearl of great price. That's what's good, and leave for the kingdom of heaven. And so salvage your soul. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and yet lose his soul? They will then expose all of your dirty laundry in all over South Africa, in all of South Africa. You know what? This dirty laundry is in a brevity. It is in 5 seconds worth of time and space. It is within this lifetime of yours where it is that you are going to be soon very forgotten the moment you pass away. It is nothing in comparison to eternity. I keep saying y'all need to make like Jacob. Fight with the Lord all night until he blesses you. Come out of that, however, with a limp for the rest of your life. But guess what you have? A whole inheritance. You need to take in your stride whatever they are going to do to you because you left. Because it is not worth it to go to hell forever because you are holding on to some fake reputation you don't have. Top of that, the entities in you that make you so recalcitrant to the gospel that even though you're convicted of sin, you are still trying to dig somewhere deep inside your orifices for an explanation or an understanding as to how this is possibly going to end well for you. You're naive. I'm a Christian. I've been dealing with all of y'all in those kinds of haughty cults. And I'm still out here thriving in these streets, working tirelessly to the nail to try and snatch you guys out from the flames of hell. God gives me these prophecies and these dreams not to just bring out your tswabe and your bunga, to expose all of your dirty laundry. No, he is doing it that you might be saved, because a lot of y'all are going to not even see the tribulation, because everybody in the tribulation is going to be disreputed. Everybody's going to have a hard time. Nobody's going to be shocked about much anymore of a human futility, of a reputation, because now you've been exposed for being a Satanist. Nobody's going to care, because it's going to be demons walking this earth. They are not demons, like fallen angels are going to be walking this earth. Menacing beings. You're going to see them with your own naked eye. Men's hearts are going to fail them for the things which are coming on the earth. So therefore, the tribulation is actually going to be beneficial for many people who belong to secret societies, because nobody will care about your dirty laundry. Nobody will care about what family member you had to sacrifice when there's like a whole funny little weird odd looking menacing beast walking around just in front of us with 10 eyes. Nobody's gonna care about the battle you were involved in, because everybody's gonna be so scared. And that's why God is not gonna give you the tribulation. He's not gonna give you the rapture, because it's going to make your taboo out not so taboo. You have to repent now and face the music. Go to heaven with the body of Christ when the rapture does happen, or go to hell. You are facing hellfire. My ex-boyfriend is facing hellfire. He has to face the music. He has to take in his stride that he might lose his wife because he's going back to the call center since she is a gold digger. He has to face the music. He needs to take in his stride that he might have to move back to his mother's house because he was prepared to face the music. Because it is not worth it to lose your soul. It is not worth it. You cannot flaunt imaliga satani to me, Karabo, dude, and expect me to suddenly just, shake about on the spot. Your money's dirty, dude. Your wealth is dirty. Your acquisitions are dirty. Your car, everything is dirty. Your house, everything is dirty. I don't want it. Coupled with the fact that I don't know why you keep on hurting that woman. Ain't nobody deserves that kind of nonsense for a husband. No one. Get your act together. Even if it means you end up at a call center, because that's what I saw. Literally, you went back to the call center just like when you were at 26. We're right back to call center. That is better than the hellfire you are going to inevitably, one of these days, 2 seconds from now, experience. And the demons that are in your body are so lofty that they have made you want to force me, coerce me. When our first kiss, you didn't even meander your hands. You kept them nicely, neatly tucked around my shoulders. Because you were not that pervert guy. But now you are. You are different. You are a man that you weren't before. Do you not miss that innocence? Well, apparently, allegedly, to reacquire that innocence, you gotta go back to equal cent. God, but if you don't buy that scale, now will have warned you, dude. over and over again. I'm tired of speaking to you and about you. The Lord is showing me all of these things because He cares for your soul. He is warning you. You are going to perish because you belong to something very nefarious and you are wreaking havoc in my life. You are dying. You are dying. And if you do not repent, you will go to hell. You will wake up in those torments and you will remember that you were warned. I have been saying it. As for the rest of y'all, are you dabbling with next door neighbor Sangoma from Besta or Pimville or DK phase 2? Yeah, better stop because you're 5 seconds away, just like with my ex-boyfriend, from accepting or taking in your stride a much hotter cult. If you're gifted, if you're talented, if you can sing, if you can, speak jokes, if the whole world loves you, if you are popular, if you have got something to offer the world that the devil can use, comprehend this. If you are currently dabbling with sorcery, he can just take you and say, worship me and I will give you the kingdoms of this world. He will put you in much deeper levels of darkness and you won't then be dealing with ubtagatibase deep sluit. You will be dealing with ubtagatibase Santon. You will be dealing with the kind of witchcraft that will give you a mansion in Santon and not keep you, able to put tiles in your shack in deep sluit. Because a lot of these people that use sorcery from these no-brainer sangomas, all that they gain is, a new set of 4 tires for their car. But that's it. They get a promotion where it is that they get 4,000 rands extra on their existing salary. But the ones that join these cults, the person's moving into a new house in a new neighborhood with like a gated community, out here being called Mr. Whatever. Yeah. If you want yourself to find yourself in the position to be called Mr. Malloy, Mr. Shabalala, if you want people to be out here kissing your behind because you belong to the Illuminati Hamban, but understand Uguti, the wages of that sin is eternal condemnation in a way that you will have been suspecting that's where you're going before you died, been very uncomfortable with it, tried to get out and just didn't. Because you will have been so scared to leave your secret society or cult that you will keep on flaunting imali that makes you uncomfortable. It's like razor. It's like eating razors in your mouth. It is no longer sweet. The fleeting pleasures of sin have come and gone. It's no longer fun. But you will die in that fallen state, with your mind that disillusioned, with you being in that much angst, but with you being unprepared to walk away from the things of this world. You will be like that rich man that God called to follow him. And the Lord, when he asked the Lord, what must I do to belong to inherit the kingdom of heaven? And God said, because he knew that man had great wealth, sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and follow me. And that man left Jesus forlorn because his great was wealth. His wealth was great. And the Lord said, it is easier for a camel to enter an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. You are leaving the kingdom of heaven forlorn because your wealth is too great and you don't want to let it go, only for you to pass away like that foolish man, heaping for himself barns upon barns of storehouses, only for him to pass away and other people consume his wealth, where God has told you, gather for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy and thieves do not come in and steal. Marawenobis, out here, walking away from the gospel, your heart is broken because you don't want to get disreputed. And then you die in a car accident and find yourself in hell and be like, but why did I not heed my gut feeling, my conscience? Why didn't I just throw it all away for the kingdom of heaven? What's impossible with man is possible with God. And I'm trying to snatch all of y'all belonging to these crazy cults out from the darkness because you are about to die. You're too menacing. You're too destructive. The kingdom of heaven is suffocating because of you. And if you do not repent, you are going to find yourself severely wanting. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are going to find yourself suddenly waking up in torments like the rich man. You are going to hell. Guys, you are dying. Just like my ex-boyfriend. I've been trying to get him out from hell. Instead, he goes and does more korobel. Instead, he goes and shows me flashes in the dream. And his business dealings. Now that I'm all poverty-stricken. When we were together, I was the one that was materially more strong. Now he's trying to flash all that in front of me. And I'm like, dude, I would have been proud of you if you had made that money organically and innocently. But you are a criminal, a gangster in the sight of God. I want nothing to do with you and your money, coupled with the fact that you are breaking the heart of your wife. Marane, they're holding on to their horses and they're going to go to hell in that state. Don't let yourself get to that point, guys. It's not worth it. The kingdom of darkness will lure you in. You are messing your entire lives up, not even over a principality, not even a fallen angel. You are messing your life up over some dude that used to live, that is now out here eating your bread, burping your beer, pooping your feces because it lost its body in the flood. That's all that's going on with you right now. Do you see how bizarre it is for you to allow these demons to keep on hanging in there? Get delivered. Get delivered. Come to Christ and let him transform you with a testimony that is going to heal nations. But if you don't wanna, guys, nakizam, I tried. Like proper, I really, like, you might not care for your own souls, but I have cared enough to labor well into the wee hours of the morning on 2 lengthy parts of a video at my discomfort that you might do better for yourselves. If you don't want to listen, like I said, Gizam, I really, truly did try. I'm rooting for you, though. This is what's going on, Ngani. You are demon-possessed. You've got Nephilim in you, and sometimes many of them, and sometimes lofty layers of them that make you unwilling, Ugyoshia, a stupid cult that has destroyed your past and your personality. It's not worth it. I hope you've been edified. I am signing out in the name of Jesus Christ, Cran K. Peace.